Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. My name is Imran, and I'm from Banke International Properties. I manage our retail office down in Dubai Creek Harbor, and what a ride it has been. It's great to see this community develop in so many incredible ways that makes it such a unique offering to the inhabitants and the investors of this beautiful waterfront development. But enough about me. We are here with two of our guests to discuss the real estate industry from two perspectives. The first perspective will be of a long-term and from an experience perspective, and the other perspective is from a fresh eye perspective. So that takes me to introduce our two guests for today. Anu, first, is with us here today. Welcome, Anu. She's been in Dubai since 2004, and she's seen all the ups and downs of the Dubai real estate market, I think, before the skylines, before the headlines, and before all the hype. And she comes with a long-term and grounded perspective on the real estate market. Welcome, Anu.
Thank you. Thank you, Imran, for having me here. Definitely, Dubai has grown in cycles. When I started real estate in about 2005, it was a very different scenario altogether. So we had, emirate at that time, and then Nakheel entered the market. And definitely, if you see, seeing the cycles, what so closely, going up and down in the market, you get a different perspective, and which is just not based on, it goes beyond than just the pricing, I think so. It has really come a long way.
That's amazing. And also with us is Mo. Mo is joining us from the United States. He has a long experience in the United States real estate market, and it will be nice to talk to him about how the perspective is different from a fresh set of eyes coming into the Dubai real estate market now, and how does it compare to other global markets.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm very excited to be here. We've been hearing about Dubai in the United States for such a long time as one of the leading markets in the real estate industry. So it really caught my attention. So I'm very excited to be here, and I see where the expansion and where all the hype is at. Wonderful communities, just a well-structured infrastructure. And you compare it to the United States, it really compares to major cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Miami. So really excited to be here, and we'll be talking a lot more about the differences and where they both align at the same perspective.
Awesome. My first question is to Anu. A lot of people here in Dubai say that buying real estate is too easy. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, being easy is actually something good, I would say, but it becomes bad, when you don't do your due diligence, which is very important, because somebody is investing, all the monies that they have made, and I think so. The due diligence part is very, very important, and it is easy because Dubai designed it that way, where it becomes the entry point actually becomes very easier, for global investors. Also, what Dubai has done is, and I would give it to the government here. They have made the investing procedures, very transparent, and they have basically removed a lot of friction away, from the buying process. Now, when I say that, they have actually, started with digital payments, so people who don't have bank accounts here can definitely buy it. But as I said, your due diligence is very important. It's either yourself educated about the market, or
Right.
definitely, you need to have your partners here in Dubai who can actually show you the right way, how buying, a property can, really, give you what you're looking out for in terms of your investment goals.
Exactly.
So yes, due diligence is very important, and as to do with the ease of business.
Yeah, the right balance, I think, between access and responsibility, or due diligence, as you rightly said.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Perfect. Mo, coming from the US, can people find affordable property here in Dubai?
Absolutely. So when you compare, like I mentioned, Dubai and where it stands as a global market, it really gives you the feel of what you get in downtown Manhattan or Brickell, Miami. You get that feel from it. And then you have also suburban communities that are well structured, like Dubai Hills Estates and Arabian Ranches, which are well structured villa communities. And it gives you a nice comparisons where you can compare between different markets when you look at areas like Scottsdale, Arizona, and you go down to Texas and Florida, and you do a comparison between both. The nice thing that I saw here is that there's a huge price difference. So that New York apartment is costing you 4 times what it is costing you here in Business Bay. So you're getting value, the same level of value at a much lower rate. The rate of returns are, consistently going up. The market is bringing in a lot of people, which is affecting price, and it's allowing it to go up. And we see over the next 10 years, absolutely Dubai will be competing with New York. So, it's so exciting to be part of that initial growth. I think, Dubai has done really well in the last 10 years, and the next 10 years are going to make it one of the biggest players in the world.
Perfect. So, what you're saying is value for money is not about lower quality. It's just about you're getting for a lower rate or a lower investment. You're getting almost the same features as major urban centers like what you mentioned in the U.S.
Actually, sometimes in most communities, you get a lot better.
Awesome. Perfect. That puts things into perspective. One thing people don't talk about enough, I think, is population growth. People are flocking into Dubai of all walks of life, like professionals, investors, business owners, and families. And the stays here are more and more not only for short term. They are longer and longer term stays. People are building their families here. They are staying here. They are studying here. And of course, population growth means demand for housing, which is the most basic thing, or one of the most basic things in life.
Absolutely.
And this demand drives prices for sale prices and rental prices up. This also gives confidence for investors and buyers here in this market. Anu, after all this growth, is Dubai still investor friendly?
Definitely, Dubai is still investor friendly. If you compare it to the earlier times, people came here, in terms of, quickly flipping the properties, but,
Right.
That's a story of the past. Dubai is a long-term game now, so people come here because the market is maturing more and more. There is a lot of opportunity, for people to actually get good returns on their ROI, but they really need to have the holding capacity. Dubai is also not only looked as an investment haven, There are people who are actually considering to bring up their families here. Purely I would attribute this, to the government's transparent laws, ease of doing business, the golden visas. I
Right.
think so a lot of all these factors have added and made Dubai a global attraction, actually.
Perfect. So, I think that the market, as it evolves, the opportunity is not really weakened. It's actually just refined and channeled in so many different areas now that the opportunity is much more diversified than just like, buying, selling, flipping, right?
100%, 100%. And it offers actually, a big time lifestyle. So when I say lifestyle, I mean safety. And I think so safety is most important, in life for anyone today.
Yeah. And thank you so much for sharing that. And, safety does bring in a lot of these people that are coming from all over the world because it's a family-oriented community that's built in Dubai. It's not just this luxury scene that you see. It's genuinely beautiful when you get on the grounds and you go around and you get to appreciate how it's structured. So I couldn't agree more, and it's a great place to build a long-term life. I've heard so many clients of mine tell me that this is going to be my home for the rest of my life.
Definitely, I would say, there's room for everyone and every type.
Absolutely.
Now, people often ask about global recession. Oh, what if a global recession happens? What if the market crashes and all of that? I think that the Dubai market now, or Dubai in general, is so much more diversified. And every time we see a slowdown in an outside market, I see investments flocking into Dubai rather than away from it.
You actually shared a very interesting point, Imran. And looking back at the U.S. in the last couple of years, even with my own personal investments, I see that the market itself has dropped from short-term rental demand. You see a lot of supply on the market and not as much demand. Properties aren't appreciating. And when you compare that to what's happened in Dubai in the last year, the change here has been phenomenal. There's growth going on. There's appreciation. There's rental demand, low vacancy rates. And then you compare it to one of the best real estate markets in the world, which is the US, you're not getting that same level of demand and same level of ROI. So it's really nice to see how they've structured things, opening up opportunities for everyone. And, that's why we're here today to talk about these details.
Yeah, very good. And actually, that takes me to my next question. What is driving buyer behavior now in purchasing property here in Dubai, do you think, in your opinion?
So working with investors for such a long time, the perspective of investors has changed. There is a level of emotional attachment to the investments, especially because a lot of them are buying secondary homes, they're buying villas, townhomes, and the goal is when we had Airbnb introduced, a lot of people like the idea of purchasing properties and renting them as Airbnbs and generating higher cap rates and cash on cash returns. And that has invited a different perspective for investors. Even people that looked at properties as second homes now see them as second home investment opportunities. So there is a slight emotional attachment, but they're very savvy. They're tech savvy. They're investor understanding, and it's really good to look at numbers and be able to assess these investments, and that opens up a much better opportunity for them on the long run.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you, Mo. Of what you just finished at, I would like to add that Dubai has actually given opportunity, to different investors, with the off-plan that is being offered, and the payment structure there does not require a huge amount, to be as the initial investment. So that has opened a lot of doors, for people to actually, come and take a slice of, housing here.
Absolutely, it's one of the most unique aspects I've seen in the investment world here in Dubai. It gives people a chance to enter the market with a payment plan directly with the developer. So a very interesting aspect, a really nice setup, and I think it really invites people from all over the world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for the session today. I think it's been very informative. How about we just, end with some last messages. Mo, what would you like to address as a final message to your United States audience?
Thank you, Imran, for having me. Thank you, Anu, for your perspective. It was a pleasure meeting you both and being part of this podcast. To my American brothers and sisters, Dubai has opened up opportunities for everyone in the world, and I wanted to come out here and be part of that, to help you guys go through this process, finding properties and building a life here. Something that can be offered to you like it is for everybody else.
Thank you, Mo. Thanks. That was great. Anu, what would you like to address your Indian audience with, who are actually the largest portion of investors here in Dubai?
Imran, thanks for having me here. Mo, it was great interacting with you, and the insights that you gave about the US market. It was really nice. Going back to your question, I think so I would tell my country, Habibi, come to Dubai. It's not only high ROIs, but it is a lot of safety. It is a lot, I would say the vibe is like a home away from home. I've been here since 2003, and Dubai has never really, stopped amazing me. Each day I wake up, feeling positive and feeling good. And even in your lows, you feel that there's a ray of hope, because, the system is designed so beautifully here, for families to thrive, grow, and feel safe and feel well looked after.
Amazing. Thank you, Anu, for the great message that you just said. And to the Dubai audience that is listening to us at the moment, thank you for listening to us. If you would like to reach out to us for any advice or consultations regarding the real estate market, you are most welcome to do so. Real estate is not about timing the market, it's about understanding it, and we are here to serve you. So looking forward to hear from you, and thank you again for listening.